I'd like to welcome the Minister into the House, and I'd like to thank her for taking this very important motion. This motion has come about as a result of the demise that we have witnessed in rural towns, in particular the centres of rural towns across this country. There are 90,000 people who owned and are employed in independent family shops in this country. They generate 3.5 billion into the economy on an annual basis. The broader retail sector employs 250,000 people and employs 14.5% of the workforce. The retail to GDP is 10% per annum. It's interesting to note that 86% of retailers employ less than 10 employees. Since 2008 and since the recession has hit this country, 47,000 jobs have been lost in the retail sector, a drop of 30% since 2008. In my hometown of Carrick-on-Suir, there are currently 24% of retail units in the town centre vacant. The similar situation accrues across Tipperary, Clonmel, Clonmel, Cashel, Cahir and many other towns across the country. There are a number of factors that are causing difficulties. The obvious one is the slowdown in the economy. But on a more localised level, there's the problem with car parking in town centres versus the ability of the shopper to go to shopping centres. The top 6 in Ireland, Dublin, Cork and Limerick, have 17,800 free car parking spaces available to shoppers. So what has happened in rural Ireland and in small towns in Ireland in the last number of years? Well, I'm glad to say that shoppers have remained faithful to town centre shops, and businesses in small towns have fought back. For example, again in my own town of Carrick-on-Suir, the local traders have reached agreement with the local authority, the town council, which has allowed 15 minutes free car parking in the centre of the town to help trade. The local business association have put on golden oldie shopping days, and many other initiatives have been brought forward. However, we do need a national response to this problem. We do need a guidance from government in relation to the whole issue of parking. We do need, for example, a top-up where each retailer can provide a ticket to shoppers in the event of them getting caught for time. We also need to look at urban renewal in town centres. The original urban renewal scheme was brought into play in 1986 and it lasted until 2008. Strangely enough, it was availed of through all the Celtic Tiger years and abandoned when we needed it most in 2008. But we do need a new scheme, Minister. And this new scheme has to learn from the previous scheme. And the previous scheme was too concentrated on providing tax derogation and not concentrated enough on the social issues that were the cause of the first renewal scheme in the first place. We need to look at improvement in rundown areas. We need to link jobs to tax derogation, and we need to phase in the whole issue of tax relief. We need to tackle also the question of uppers rent only. That was debated here last week. In fact, I was accused of not being here for debate, but I was actually paired on the day. I might like to read into the record as well. We also need to enhance the Business Improvement District scheme. This scheme has only been taken up by 2 authorities in the country, Dublin and Dundalk, but there is great merit in the scheme. There is merit in providing clean environment, safe environment for shoppers. We can do a lot more in that, and we need guidance and we need support at national level on it. There has also been another initiative in the fight back by retailers across the country. Pop-up shops have arrived on the scene. Many of them in Dublin. One of them actually just across the road here, the corner of Molesworth Street, by Glenesk, who's a yogurt company, was there for the last couple of months. These shops have fantastic potential. But the difficulty as it stands at this point in time with them is that they require planning permission, not for to be there, but for an order for the entrepreneur who comes up with the idea to get finance from enterprise boards and from Leader, etc. So we need to give some solace and we need to give some statutory authority to these initiatives. There's also an issue of safety in town centres. There has been some great work done in the provision of CCTV across town centres in this country. 4 million has been invested to date, but many more towns need these systems. What I'm saying to you today, Minister, is that despite the economic woes, many town councils have surplus money. Many town councils are in the black. And before and if the government proceeds to abolish town councils after the May elections of next year, that the town local authority should be allowed to use some of that money to carry out these improvements that are badly needed to kickstart retailing in their areas. Development levies is another very big issue. During the boom, 2.1 billion euros were collected from levies between the year 2000 and 2006. But in the last number of years, this money collection has been, to say the least, unsuccessful. There is currently 750 million owed to local authorities across the country. So it's quite clear that not alone can new businesses not start up because of these development levies, but the ones who have started are unable to pay. So what should we do? Well, I would suggest that we give a moratorium to all new businesses starting up in retailing in particular for 2 years, and then following that and the continuing trading of the business, that we phase the payments in over 5 years. This will give a chance to new businesses to kickstart rural towns and to help generate employment in rural towns across the country. Rates are the other big issue that are currently crippling retail outlets in the country. There has to be some change in the system. The current system is both archaic and outdated. There has to be a linkage between the rate and the turnover of a business and the profit that that business generates. I would also say, Minister, that vacant businesses and premises must be required to maintain their business, their shop fronts, etc., and facades at an acceptable level in order to ensure that they get a rates holiday when the premises is not occupied. What is happening in rural Ireland, small towns, town centres, is that vacant premises are becoming dishevelled and run down and lowering the actual atmosphere and ambience of the town centres. The owners of these businesses don't have to pay rates, but there should be a condition, and I'm requesting, Minister, that you condition that they must keep their premises to a certain level of well-being. I would say, I'm coming to a conclusion, Cathaoirleach, I would say that the town councils who have surplus cash be allowed to use that to incentivise and kickstart new retail businesses in their local authority areas between now and May of next year. In other words, that they make provision in their 2014 budget. And finally, Cathaoirleach, I would ask you, Minister, to set up a national task force on town centre retailing. This would be a body representing all of the various interest groups. It should only sit for 12 weeks. It should bring forward findings to you that can be implemented by you. And if you do this one thing alone, I think you will help this sector. Cormac.